What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is CSW here for my first ever custom video. And today, for the first ever custom video, we're doing this Karrion Kross Ultimate Edition, like a fully updated Karrion Kross. For the formula, I used obviously Triple H Ultimate Edition, the crotch, the torso, everything here. And then here is Seth Rollins' legs, Triple H knee pads. And here is where it gets a little bit more creative with the formula, if you want to say that. To get him his height, because the Seth Rollins just lower legs and boots made him a little bit, not small, but a little bit too short in my opinion. So these are Undertaker Ultimate boots that are on some older Seth Rollins lower legs with the boot extension. That's what I use for that. The head, amazing head sculpt from BEW. Go check him out. I'll leave a link in the description to his shop and this Karrion head. But yeah, that's what I'm using for the formula. For decals, I got these from Curb Stomp City Decals. These are just some Karrion Kross decals from his newer tights look. And I also got some tattoo decals that I can get out and show you guys. There's his back decal. So you need to cut these to size. This is his chest and his updated forearm decal. And then these are his arm decals. If you didn't know, Curb Stomp, he gives you 2 sets of each decal. So if you mess up, there's still another set. So if you've been wanting to try decals for a while, but you didn't know because you think you're gonna mess them up, you can always get some cheap ones. You get 2 sets of them. You can practice. That's what I did. But yeah, enough of that. Enough of the yapping. I say let's go ahead and get into this Ultimate Edition Karrion Kross action figure, because I think it's gonna look freaking sick. Alright guys, so now we're getting into actually making the custom. I'm just cutting the decals here. Normally I wouldn't show you guys this, but since this is my first video, not all of them are going to be as long as this one. I'm just kind of showing you guys this since it's the first video of making customs in this. So, just showing you everything that goes in it. Next time it'll be a lot less. Next custom won't even have decals. But yeah, next one that does have decals, I probably won't be showing you guys cutting them out, because it's simple. It's not really rocket science or anything. But yeah, I'm just cutting out all the decals because you don't want them to be not cut, or else you're gonna have a whole bunch of extra stuff. Alright, so that's micro set. Basically, it just goes onto the figure before you apply decals to prep the plastic. You take the decal off after soaking it in water. And microsol softens the decal to the figure, but you have to let it sit before it actually sets fully. Now I'm just gonna keep repeating that process with all of the different designs on the side. Then eventually we will get to the tattoos. We're gonna just put some more micro set on that leg, and then put that little design there. And somewhere in here, I think when I'm putting micro sole on that, I'm pretty sure the card decal at the first decal I applied, it came off on my brush, and I didn't notice until I was almost done with all of the decals for the tights, but it came off. But luckily Curb Stomp, I told you that he always gives you extra, but he gave me 3 of the card decals, so that's good. You can see there it's not there anymore because it came off. It's on my brush right there. You can actually see it. But yeah. And now I'm going to just put a different one on there, because you don't want to reuse it if it's already really messed up and bad. it's just gonna rip. It's not gonna come out good. But yeah, see, it's right there. But yeah, just microsole, soften the decal, get it on there, and then after that, you're gonna want to hit it with a hairdryer. I didn't show that, but just hit it with a hairdryer. Don't make it too hot, and don't leave it for too long, or else it'll melt and the decal will bubble up. But yeah, here's the tattoos. Pretty simple. I mean, it's an ultimate, so there are butterfly joints. And if you're wondering, like, how I'm gonna be able to move all the joints, if I'm just kind of putting the decals where the joints move, once they're set, just take a razor blade, something that's really sharp. You're gonna want it to be really sharp, because if it's like dull, it's not sharp enough, it's just gonna like drag the decal off the plastic. It's just gonna like, it won't look clean. But once it's done setting, you just want to go against all the articulation points where you put the decal over, and just cut it, and then it'll be perfectly fine. I do it for all of my tattoo decals and all the decals that go onto joints and all that. Here are the arm decals. These were easily the hardest decals to do. It doesn't look too hard right here, but this is like times 15 speed. This took it took like an hour and a half for all of the decals, and these arm decals took like 30 minutes to get placed right, because I kept having to adjust them, and even like off camera I would just like adjust them over and try and like get the sponge down. It doesn't look bad here, but trust me, it took a while. They weren't very fun to do, but they came out pretty good. I'm happy with how they came out. And now here are the newer forearm decals that he got. I'm not sure how long ago he got them, but I'm pretty sure the placement that I did was wrong. Here's the back decal now. It's really fast, but I'm pretty sure on the forearm decal the placement was wrong. I think it's supposed to be like the first part in the like inner arm, and then the outer part in the outer arm. I should have cut it, but I didn't. But now so we got all the decals done. Here's the head. I'm just going in with a base coat here. If you're wondering what I use for my skin tone, I believe it is light mocha, classic caramel, a little bit of orange, and a little bit of red, and then maybe a slight bit of brown and territorial beige. That's normally what I use for all of my skin tone paints. It's all Apple Barrel, because I think they have a bigger variety of skin tone paint. But now I'm putting on like a darker color that's gonna match the skin tone of the figure a bit better, and you know, a little bit of Vallejo. I'm just watering that down because I want to get a red wash, because it's gonna make it look a bit more realistic. Same thing, but with like more orangey colors. Yeah, now I'm gonna just go over like the highlighted areas, like the eyes, you know, the cheeks, the nose, the lips, the places that need to be a bit redder in color, the pressure points of the face, you could say. It just gives it a more realistic look, a real nicer look in my opinion. Yeah, I'm just touching it off. Yeah, it's really hard to get on the camera. Here's a little bit of brown. The hair was a bit too light with the brown. I'm gonna go over with a black wash on the hair to just get it a nice darker color, more realistic color to Karrion's hairstyle. Yeah, I think the head scan looks pretty good so far. I went in with a smaller brush for the hairline to make sure I didn't mess it up. You know, great scan from BEW. I'll leave a link in the description for that if you guys want to check that out. Yeah, I did like the mustache and the fade of the beard and the eyebrows and the eyelashes off camera. It's really hard to do, but I wanted to include eyes. I wanted to do this on camera because a lot of people struggle with them, and I used to struggle with them too. Just get the smallest brush you have, or not even, it doesn't even have to be small, it's just the one with the pointiest end, the smallest pointiest end, and just, you know, lightly dip in white paint and then go over lightly. That's what I do every time, and it comes out good, I'd say, for the most part. Now I'm just getting like the outer of the iris or pupil or whatever it is. I don't know. There's like a black outside. He has brown eyes. So now I'm doing that. Just brown eyes, and then finally the pupils in there. And then I do a little white speck for the highlight. But yeah, we're pretty much done with the head scan. I'm doing a black wash here. But after the black wash, we're basically done. And I'll send you guys off to see how it looks in the end. Here we are, guys. We are done with the Ultimate Edition Karrion Kross, and man, I'm happy with how this turned out here. So let's just get a look at this head scan painted by me from BEW. Great sculpt. I'll make sure to leave a link in description for this sculpt if you want to pick one up for yourself. Curb Stomp City decals, tattoos. Also leave a link in description for that. And the gear designs also from Curb. And I did switch the boots out. They're not the cleanest. Jacob does stuff on Instagram, one of my good friends. He told me that he didn't just wear the plain black Taker boots that I had on him originally. I didn't even notice, but yeah, I decided to sand down the straps on some Legends cane boots, and they're not the cleanest. They need a little bit more acetone to smooth it out, and I could like paint over it, sand it a bit more, but I'm happy how it looks right now. But yeah, I mean, this one was definitely very fun to make. I've been waiting on this one all week. I was supposed to get the BEW head in on Monday, but he accidentally sent me this Rhea Ripley head, which, I mean, I painted it. I don't have a Rhea Ripley figure, and it's on eBay right now. If somebody wants to get that, I'll leave a link in the description for that, if somebody is interested. So he sent me this head scan, and he also sent me 3 of these Seth Rollins scans. So first we have the normal version right here, then a smiling, laughing, yelling expression type scan, and we have a closed eyes scan, which I really like those. And then soon this weekend probably we should have a video of this Mania 41 Seth Rollins going up, so you guys can keep a lookout for that. And another custom that if you guys follow me on Instagram, you know about this. You should know about this. Which I'll leave a link in the description for that. This 500 follower giveaway. We reached 500 followers on Instagram. I'm giving away this Elimination Chamber Seth Rollins. Really dope figure here. So, you know, I'll leave a link in the description if anybody wants to go over and enter. The giveaway ends tomorrow, so you don't have a lot of time. So if you haven't entered, go ahead and enter. It ends tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be giving away that Seth Rollins. But yeah, I mean, this Karrion, I'm just really happy with how it turned out. You know, I was thinking a lot if I want to sell it or not, and I think I will, and I'll probably get more and make another one for my personal collection. But, you know, since Curb Stomp sends multiple pairs of decals with a decal in case you mess up, I didn't really mess up on any of them. Besides the card design, I was putting Micro Soul on. I think I was putting on this, and I think my brush hit the card, and it like got all up in the brush. But luckily Curb Stomp sent actually 3 of the card designs, so I do have an extra one for that. So I'm probably gonna get another BW Karrion head. I don't know if I'm gonna do Ultimate Edition this time or next time. I'm probably just gonna get an Elite Karrion. I honestly want to get the older Elite Karrion and then because I really like the big arms. I really like how the bigger arms look on him. So So I'm probably going to get the older Elite Karrion and then put some bigger arms on and then put the decals on that. And, you know, I might get some more decals and do his WrestleMania 40 look. I think that was the look, I'm pretty sure. When he had, like, I think he wore it a few times other than Mania 40. I'm not sure. But he had, like, the designs here and all that. So, you know, we'll see if I do that. I probably will. And if I do that, there will probably be a video for it. And it will probably be for my personal collection. But I will likely be selling this. And if I do, whenever I get it up, it might not be up to be sold right when this video is posted. But, you know, once it is up, I will leave a link in the description for that Karrion. And I know a lot of people are going to say that it's overpriced, but, you know, this video, I mainly wanted to show you guys, like, kind of what goes into making these customs, because I get a lot of questions about how I do them. I get a lot of questions about, you know, what prices are and, like, how prices are calculated and why they're so high, and people saying that it's too much money. I personally, I mean, once you look at all the work and labor that actually goes into making something like this, I think it's pretty fair price. This is going to be one of my more expensive customs, knowing that it is Ultimate Edition. It does have a custom 3D head. I mean, I think I spent like upwards of $80 on parts, just on the parts alone. The head was $20. The body, like the legs, Seth Rollins' legs, the Triple H Ultimate Torso, that together came out to around $35, $40 after shipping, I think. Decals was also like $25. But I did get decals with a few other decals, so it wasn't just those, just to clarify. So the decals aren't $30, they're like $15. But until I think not Friday. Until I think Saturday. Maybe it is Friday. I don't remember. So you better hurry. But Curb Stomp's running 50% off all of his decals using code. I think it's Stomp11 because it is his 11th year anniversary. So go get yourself some decals if you want to. 50% off all decals. Over $15 is the maximum price to be eligible to use the code. So, you know, if you want yourself some Karrion decals and then just, you know, something else, you know, you can go get that right now. 50% off, you know, it's a great deal. But enough yapping here. I think I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. But this, you know, I just wanted to show you guys what goes into making a custom. Why they're so highly priced. All the precision and work and effort and patience that goes into making one of these, because a lot of people are confused about that. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, guys. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.